that was a bit dramatic because my mom, according to my mom, she said that my brother was just barely, he's not up to 1 year old. I think around maybe 8 months or thereabout. That was when she discovered that she was pregnant.
Tí n bá lóyún, ọjọ́ kan ni, orí á fọ́ mi, òtútù ó mú mi, màá bì. So pẹ̀tọ́ ọjọ́ kan yẹn náà ni màá ṣe gbogbo sickness yẹn. Ẹni bá sọ pé ara mi ò yẹn wà fún adọjọ́ kejì àrò pé rọ́nà ń pa, mo mọ̀ pé mo ti lóyún. Kò sí iṣẹ́ tí obìnrin lè ṣe nínú ilé tí Adéwálé ò lè ṣe.
So I maintained my prayer pointers, and so I was looking for a man that loves the Lord. And the Bible says that David loved the Lord. So when I met my husband, it just was it.
Everything about my life, digital encode, all the inspiration, I read it that.
One day he woke up and was telling me that, we are building the #1 cybersecurity unicorn in Africa. Who thinks about that? I mean, unicorn means $1 billion.
I mean, it calls me global mama Rachel, and I mean that's the first thing. Global mama Rachel, what are you talking about? You have to move. You have to your future. And you'll be living like this.
That whole more and more and more, to be able to achieve more and do more, is something that Dr. Obadare has such a unique ability to be able to coach and make you see.
By the time I finished secondary school, it was a no-brainer that I knew that I'm not going to stay with my mom and my dad. So I had to, my uncle, my mom, brothers, they were very smart. There were 3 of them, very smart. So why would I stay in Ibadan? That okay, I'll just go and join them.
He knows how to cultivate relationship and how to sustain it and how to invest in any relationship he believes in. And this he has done for over the years. And that's why even in his family life, despite his busy schedule, he's still able to balance his work with family because he's so much committed to his wife and so much committed to his daughter.
They said I'm changing, but I used to be very strict. I'll be honest with you.
He's tough. Wale is tough. It was obvious from day one that it was going to be digital encode. And then we started the execution. And even during the execution, he would always call me, Madam, if there's anything, let me know. My guy's on the ground, but if you want me to come down, then occasionally we'll come down and ask her. So I started getting interested in the kind of personality Prof is. And from there, they were able to deliver that thing.
I see him around, but then the very first thing he spoke to me, I knew that this is a young man with commitment.
I call him my mentor, that's the truth. Even though I'm older, but that's my sounding board. That's the right word I'm using.
You can't come to Prof. Opa and you live the same. Is it in terms of compassion? Is it in terms of empathy? Is it in terms of professionalism? Is it in terms of mentoring? Is it in terms of adding value and holding you to ensure that you succeed? Prof. Obadare is someone that when you are opportune to encounter him, you discover that the journey of 10 years can be shortened to half that time. Because he will tell you, this is what has worked for me. That again comes to his transparency, his transparent personality. He will tell you, this is what has worked for me. This is the way to go about it. And I think if you should go through this direction without loading it on you, you would achieve that same result.
So there have been instances where Wale would tell me that, Madam, Digital Encode is not a local company. It's an international global company. And I'm not surprised that their client base is getting to the point, even their client base outside of Nigeria, they are much more than their client base in Nigeria. So he saw it when it wasn't looking it. It's like as far as your eyes can see. So he's been able to use his eye of faith to see the invisible and see those things that be not as though they were.
All of us started the business, but it wasn't more than like 3 months after all of them checking out. I was the only one that continued the Maggi business.
That this was somebody that his wife was heavy, pregnant, and yet he went to India to go and do an exam so that he can come back and be a licensed penetration tester. It was not a common thing. I think it was even the first one to have that certification in Nigeria. So that is him for you. He believes so much in knowledge.
When you hear his story, you know that he's really traveled through a lot. So for me, it's an embodiment of grace.